everybody out there in YouTube land. Welcome to my channel and welcome to today's practice. I'm going to be sharing with you a restorative yoga practice. So it's very gentle, but you will need some props. And also it's going to be all on the floor. So if you have yoga blocks, 2 is ideal. And there's links to these props in the description below in case you're wanting to get yourself some if you don't have them already. I think the blocks are like probably my favorite prop to have available when you're practicing yoga, especially at home. So a couple blocks would be great. And then a yoga bolster, also awesome prop to have. It's a nice kind of sturdy pillow that you can use in all different ways during restorative yoga. So having a bolster is great. Now, if you don't have blocks, you could grab, a couple thick books or some little pillows or thick towels that you can fold up into this shape. If you don't have a bolster, all you need to do is just grab, again, you could have some thick, big towels or some big, thick blankets, and you can, just kind of roll them up to turn them into a makeshift bolster. They do the job just great. And it's also nice to just have, 1 or 2 of these thick blankets because you might want to use one to cover up your body. Since you're not going to be moving a lot in this practice, it's a lot about just relaxing and resting and surrendering into these poses. Your body temperature may drop and you'll want to cover up with a blanket to stay warm and to feel really cozy. And then I don't have an eye pillow to show you, but if you have an eye pillow, right? It's like just a little pillow that lays over your eyes. Those are amazing in restorative yoga practices because that extra weight over the eyes actually helps induce relaxation and it blocks the light out. So great way to help you go a little deeper into your practice. So grab the props if you need to. Press pause, go grab all of these props for your practice today, and then come on back and we're going to dive into a really amazing restorative practice that will help kind of rejuvenate you. It will help relax your body. It will help just bring your body and mind into deeper balance and many other things. You can tell me after the practice in the comments how you feel. But restorative yoga practices in general are just amazing, and you can just wear cozy clothes, something that you're comfortable, moving around. And I'm in a sweater because I just wanted to kind of feel warm and cozy for this practice. So cozy, comfortable clothes is definitely a must. All right, so we are going to start the practice in something called Supta Baddha Konasana, reclining bound angle pose. And so you're going to set up your bolster on your mat like this. And then I'm going to use my 2 blocks, one on either side, which is they're going to support my knees. And then you could cover up with your blanket, and you may also want to have one of your blankets or a little extra pillow here for your head because you want your eyes to be a little bit higher than your heart for this. And then you bump yourself right up. So your low back sacrum area bumps right up to the bolster. And then you just lie on back. And you can start with the soles of the feet on the ground and kind of just see how your back is feeling. And you can always shift your body up or down a little bit to just make your back feel really comfortable. And you can adjust your pillow under your head. And then when you're ready, soles of the feet will come together and you're going to let your knees fall out to the side. And some people don't necessarily need support underneath the knees, but I recommend in restorative yoga to use the support even if you think you don't need it, because we do hold these poses for an extended period of time. And when the body feels supported, in this instance, the knees, when the knees feel like there's something underneath them, the muscles around your hips, the inner thigh muscles, outer thigh muscles, they sense that support and they're like, oh, I can let go. I don't need to hold on. And that's what we're going for. And then your arms can just come out alongside your body and you can experiment with the placement that feels best for you. And you're going to just roll your palms up towards the sky. And then let your eyes come to close. And tune into your breath here and just take a nice, deep, complete breath in. And as you slowly breathe out, just feel your body settling into this first restorative yoga pose today. And as your body settles, scan your attention from top to bottom and see if anything needs to be adjusted or changed. The key with restorative yoga is that you are comfortable. We're not necessarily going for a stretch. We want the body to feel really comfortable and supported. So if anything feels a little off, or you're feeling a sense of pull or strain of some sort, just grab an extra blanket or an extra pillow and prop it underneath the part of your body that feels strained. And then with your eyes closed, take your inner gaze and begin to look down towards the tip of your nose. Noticing the breath coming in and out through the nose. And then again with your inner gaze, look down towards your heart center. And notice the rise and fall of the breath there. And then gazing down to your navel, to your belly. And sensing how the breath is generating some movement right here around your navel. And take several breaths, maintaining awareness of your belly, really encouraging your belly to open and expand with your in-breath. And allowing your belly to fully surrender and release with your out-breath. Continuing with that deep, slow, relaxing belly breathing. And then letting your attention come to your jaw and feel your jaw release. And begin to relax the back of your head down into your blanket or bolster. Noticing where your spine is in contact with your bolster. And as you breathe out, sink down through your back into your bolster. Your Shoulders dropping back and down towards the floor, and then whatever parts of your arms and your hands are in contact with the floor, just let those parts get heavier. Even the palms of the hands becoming soft in the fingers and thumbs, relaxed, maybe even gently curling in towards the center of your palms. Feeling the back of your pelvis resting heavy against your mat. And then scanning from the hips to the knees to the feet. And really letting go through your legs. Letting your legs press down into the blocks beneath them, or whatever you've got as a support beneath your legs. And then just resting here quietly, attuned to your breath. And if your mind is busy and racing or ruminating on certain thoughts, see if you can take your inner gaze once again down, down, down to the tip of your nose, to your heart, to your belly, and just interrupt that thinking process by giving your attention instead to this expansion of your belly as you breathe in, and then the soft release of your belly as you breathe out. We're going to take just a few more breaths here in this pose. And when we transition from restorative pose to restorative pose, you don't want to jump out of the pose really quickly. You want to bring all of this presence and relaxation that you've cultivated into the next pose with you. And so just let your fingers gently wiggle. Feel your breath deepen in and out. And then you might even use your hands to just gently lift your legs up. And when you're ready, you can just roll yourself over onto your side. Rising up nice and gently so that you can see the next pose that we're moving into. And the next pose we are moving into is a reclining twist. So you can actually keep your bolster just as it is, and then you'll want to again kind of set yourself up so that your sacrum is touching your bolster. Your feet are going to be mat width apart out in front of you, and then you're going to just windshield wipe the legs, so just really keeping the feet about right where they're at and dropping the legs over to the left. And then you can kind of come to sit up on this left hip, and then you'll have to just adjust slightly to scooch up so that your left outer hip is now touching the bolster. All right, and then from here, you may want to still have a blanket here for your head, or you could take the blanket back here, rest it over your legs for some extra warmth and weight. Or if having your legs staggered in this way feels not good on your hips or your knees or your ankles, you can adjust. You could stack the legs a little bit and kind of bring them closer together. Okay, so lots of options to choose from. I'm just gonna rest the blanket over my legs, and then you're gonna be twisting to the left. And sometimes it's nice to just take a breath here as you twist, getting your spine to rotate, and then you're going to start to walk your hands back and try to bring as much of your belly and chest down onto your bolster. And as you do so, Hopefully my microphone doesn't get blocked here. But as you do so, this can feel so good. But if your back is tight, you might want to use your blocks and elevate your bolster. Even just the head of your bolster, like I just did here, can be really nice. So I'm going to work with that variation. And then just trying to make sure my microphone stays unsquished. You're going to just bring yourself all the way down to rest on your bolster. And you might be like, where should I put my head, Amy? Well, you could rest your eye pillow or a little folded towel underneath your forehead. You could gaze towards the left, which is going to be the deepest version of the twist here. And your head should rest, right? Your head should just drop down. And then you can also gaze towards the right and just rest your left cheek on your mat. And then letting go here, right? So kind of check in initially, just close the eyes, scan through the body, see if you feel absolutely comfortable. And a little stretch is okay, but again, that's not the focus in a restorative yoga practice. We're not going necessarily for a stretch. We're not going for exertion of effort. We're going for support, comfort, and release, surrendering. So adjust your arms a little bit if you need to, your elbows. Let your hands be soft. And just start to tune into the flow of your breath. And as you breathe in and as you breathe out, notice how the body's gently moving with that breath, and use the exhalation to purposely let go. So maybe you breathe out and you just lean into your bolster a little bit more. Breathing out, letting the elbows drop heavy into the floor. And even the legs, just noticing the weight of the legs and letting the legs drop down. Releasing any need to hold on. And stay attuned to your breath here. And again, if your mind is busy, coming out of thinking mode by feeling the breath, right? And maybe coming back to your belly again and just breathing in and out, noticing the expansion of your belly and the release of your belly. And we're going to take just about 5 to 8 more breaths on this side. Take your last breath in and out. And then when you're ready, just slowly, you can bring your palms down onto your mat and just ease yourself up. So just press into your hands, rising up nice and easy. And even though these are relatively gentle postures, your body sometimes might need to wiggle a little bit as you come out of the poses. So feel free to wiggle around a little bit, stretch things out if you need to. And then we're just going to flip right over to the opposite side. So again, as a starting point, you can come through center and just make sure your low back is against the bolster. And then you're just going to drop your legs. The feet stay wide apart as you drop your legs over to the right. And the legs might be staggered, or you can adjust them if that's not comfortable. And then we sweep the right arm back behind. And again, you might need to adjust your hips so that your right outer hip is flush up against your bolster. Take a breath as you sit tall. And then when you're ready, you're going to start to walk your hands out alongside your bolster and bring as much of your belly and chest down onto the bolster. And give yourself permission to kind of wiggle around in the first few moments until you feel like your body is supported enough and comfortable enough so that it can start relaxing, it can start letting go. And again, for that deeper twisting version, you might be looking towards your right shoulder with your left cheek on your bolster. You could also have your forehead down on your bolster or just propped up a little bit on a folded towel, or your right cheek is on your bolster. This one usually feels the best to most people. And just start to tune into your breath. And again, using your exhalation to become heavy through the torso, just really sinking down into the bolster. Let your shoulders fall towards the earth and feel your elbows and your forearms and your hands sinking down. Try to release your jaw, letting the muscles of your face be kind of smushy and soft. And then notice your legs, your feet. And as you breathe in, imagine the breath being able to reach way down into those legs, and then exhale, just feel the legs and the feet growing heavier. Shifting your attention to your belly, your navel center. And again, for the last few breaths of this pose, focus upon your belly and just feel the breath coming in and expanding your abdomen. And as you breathe out, letting the belly grow soft, fully releasing through the low back, giving all of those internal organs a nice little twist and release. Let's take about 5 more breaths here. Last breath in, Last breath out. Ah, good. And then just plant your palms again and begin to roll up through your torso and your spine, walking your hands back, coming out of the pose, and maybe there's a little wiggling that wants to happen, or a few little stretches that want to happen, even just maybe a gentle arching of the back and rounding of the back. Especially after a twist, sometimes it's nice to just do a few simple movements because the spine can kind of reset and come back to center in that case. All right, so we have one pose left in our practice today. And that pose is going to be legs up the wall pose. This is one of my all-time favorites. Actually, almost every restorative pose is one of my favorites, to be honest. So you do need wall space for this, but if you're not near a wall, if you don't have available wall space, if you have a chair that you can put your legs up on, or a couch that you can put your legs up on, any way to just get your legs elevated somewhat will be perfect. Okay, so, and for this one, you may just want to have your blanket to cover up with if you've been using that, and then sometimes it's nice to prop up the head on a pillow or a folded blanket as well. And of course your eye pillow if you have an eye pillow. So, nice easy way to get up into legs up the wall pose is to come up and put one side of your body against the wall, and then you're going to walk your hands back. And as you do that, and some people actually, I'm going to show this too, just because sometimes this, if you have the space, this is even easier. So some people like to come down and actually come onto their side and put their butt and the back of their legs against the wall. And then literally they kind of come all the way down and then just slide the legs up just like that. That can be really great for getting as close to the wall as possible, because you do ideally want the back of your legs and your bum against the wall. And then again, like I said, if you have, just for ease, you can prop this pose in a lot of different ways, but for ease, since you're just practicing at home, may not have all the props, I would suggest just putting maybe a blanket underneath your head so that your eyes are elevated above the level of your heart. And then your hands can rest over your belly, or you could have your arms out alongside the body, whatever feels good for you. Eyes coming to close. Scan through your body and just check in, see if you are in fact comfortable here, or if there's any part of you that just wants to adjust a little bit. And if at any point this becomes uncomfortable in the legs, there is a lot of lactic acid that can drain from the legs. Blood flow may become less in the feet, and there can be tingling in the feet. So if that becomes uncomfortable for you, bend your knees, and it can be nice to just bring the soles of your feet to touch. And you could even take your hands to your inner thigh, kind of knee area, and just kind of hold the legs here. That usually will help bring the blood back down into those feet. But otherwise, we're keeping the legs up long on the wall. And just noticing your face here. Again, let the jaw release. And imagine somebody's warm hand, somebody you trust. Their warm hands are resting over the fronts of your shoulders, gently, gently pressing them back and down towards the earth. And releasing through the ankles and the knees and the hips, just feeling the back of your pelvis heavy on the floor, your whole spine, all the way up to the back of your skull, heavy on the floor. And since this is our last restorative position, I'm going to guide you in a little simple breathing practice. This is often called one-to-one breathing. So we're going to breathe in for a very relaxed count of 3, and then we'll breathe out for a relaxed count of 3. Just helping our body and mind come into a really quiet, balanced place. So go ahead and just breathe out now. And then breathing in for 3, 2, 1. And exhaling for 3, 2, 1. Inhaling 3, 2, 1. Exhaling 3, 2, 1. Inhaling 3, 2, 1. Exhaling 3, 2, 1. Inhaling 3. Exhaling 3. Inhaling 3. Exhaling 3. Inhaling 3. Exhaling 3. Inhaling. Exhaling. Inhaling. Exhaling. Inhaling. And exhaling. And then just let your breath come into its own even rhythm. Again, letting your inner gaze look downward into the space of your belly. And just noticing the quietness, the peacefulness, noticing the stillness. It's perfectly safe to stay here a little longer if you want to extend your practice. Or you can always, like I showed you previously, you could bend your knees, sliding the feet down the wall, and just bringing the soles of your feet together for a moment. With the knees gently pressing out towards the wall. Take a couple breaths into the belly. And maybe you stay here longer, or if you are ready to move into the rest of your day, or maybe you're moving right into bed, you can draw the knees towards one another and wiggle your way off onto one side. Move slowly and leisurely. So again, that you're not disrupting this state of relaxation that you've cultivated. And if you'd like, you could just sit for a moment here, maybe the eyes close. Noticing how you feel. Maybe your energy is quite different from when you started your practice today. So let yourself really drink in all of this relaxation. Drinking in all of the positive energy that you started to build and cultivate inside of you. And then just sealing in this state, right, by bringing the palms to press into Anjali Mudra. Take a full breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. I appreciate you. I'm so glad that you joined me for this practice to invest in your own well-being. Have a beautiful rest of your day.